2021 is finally here, thank goodness, and the PlayStation Plus games for this month have just been revealed, and January 2021's games are looking very slick. I am very impressed with the lineup of 3 titles that we're getting for January 2021. In this video, we're going to go through each of the titles. We're going to go through what they are and what kind of games they are, how they play, as well as the trophies and the platinums and how hard they're going to be to platinum each of these games. Let's dive in and take a look at them all. Hey folks, if you're a new viewer of the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I make new videos like this every single day on the channel, so hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date. This video here is about the PlayStation Plus games and lineup for January 2020, and in my opinion, one of the strongest lineups of PlayStation Plus games that we've had in a long time. And I think PlayStation Plus, honestly for me, has been actually pretty good over the past 6, 7, 8 months, so it's kind of surprising to say that I think this is, honestly one of the best lineups. Now the TLDR version, if you're just here to find out what the games are, they are Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Greedfall, and for the PlayStation 5, Maneater as well. So those are the 3 games that we're getting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of those games. We're going to sort of talk about them a little bit and what they are, and we'll show a bit of gameplay, and then we'll talk about the trophies as well, how hard they're going to be to platinum, and this can kind of be a bit of a semi sort of mini trophy guide for each of these games. So let's have a look at the first game. First up we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is the 3rd game in the brand new Tomb Raider trilogy of games. Now that's kind of a double-edged sword. It's awesome on one side because it means that Sony are giving us the newest Tomb Raider game, not the older ones. So that's a good thing because we're getting the newest, the latest, the greatest. The challenge with that, I think, is that because it is the 3rd in a trilogy, there's going to be a number of people who are opting not to play it because they maybe haven't played the first 2 Tomb Raider games in the trilogy. I will say, if you've played Tomb Raider, like 2013's Tomb Raider, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the 2nd one, you're gonna get more out of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. However, you don't need to have played those games to be able to enjoy this one. So if you are a PlayStation Plus user and you get given this game for free, don't pass on it because you haven't played those games. I don't think they're mandatory requirements to enjoy this game. I think there is stuff in those games that will allow you to get more out of it, but I wouldn't pass on it just because of that. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Make sure you enjoy it. It's your free game for the month. I think it's worth your time. Now, Tomb Raider, a lot of people know what Tomb Raider is, but this rebooted Tomb Raider franchise, 2013's Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, are essentially Uncharted games. Tomb Raider obviously was an action platformer from way back in the day, which kind of inspired Uncharted and Naughty Dog to develop Uncharted, which ended up being a sort of action platformer, but focused on cinematics and narrative as well. Then Square Enix went back to the drawing board with Crystal Dynamics, and they developed this new Tomb Raider franchise, which is heavily inspired by Uncharted. So they took a lot of those dynamic cutscene to gameplay moments, they took a lot of that focus around narrative, they took a lot of focus around that gunplay and that sort of gritty, pulpy type style that Uncharted has to it, and they incorporated it into this new Tomb Raider franchise. So if you enjoyed the Uncharted games in any way, then you're going to really enjoy these Tomb Raider games, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider is no exception to that. It's a fantastic game, just like the other games in the trilogy. Trophy-wise, this game is a pretty middle-of-the-road platinum trophy. It's about a 5 out of 10 difficulty, so it kind of sits in that very standard AAA platinum difficulty rating. It's gonna take you somewhere in the realm of about 40 hours or so, I would say, and that's being a little bit overly conservative with that scoring as well, so keep that in mind if you're going to go for this one. It does only require a single playthrough of the game, but you do have to play through on the hardest difficulty, so keep that in mind when you play it as well. Might be worth starting it on that. I always recommend starting on a normal difficulty or a slightly easier difficulty and then working up to a harder one in a second playthrough. That way you can enjoy the game the way it's intended the first time and then come back to it and play it again on a harder difficulty, but that's up to you. There are a number of missable trophies in this game as well. Pretty much everything associated with combat becomes unobtainable post-game, so you can play the game and continue to play it post-game, but the combat stuff all becomes blocked off. So if you're going for the platinum in this game, make sure you knock off the combat-based trophies as you play through the game. Don't save them to last, otherwise you'll be screwed out of a platinum trophy and you'll require a second playthrough. Anyway, but like I said, probably go for 2 playthroughs, but it's really up to you how you want to tackle this one. So that's the first PlayStation 4 game this month. The second PlayStation 4 game is Greedfall. I recommend this game so much. This is a Focus Home interactive, I would say AA RPG game. Now it's a budget RPG, but it's really good. These budget games, these AA style games from Focus Home are actually really decent games, and this is no exception. This is a fantastic game as well. Look, obviously it has its problems. You're not getting a Skyrim or a Witcher 3 here. You're getting a much more smaller scale, I would say, RPG here. The cool thing about Greedfall is it's tackling your fantasy elements, but it's also got modern elements in there too. So it kind of combines these two worlds a little bit. There's quite a number of games that are doing that now, and it's really intriguing to see it. The game itself is a very standard third-person open-world RPG though. So if you're looking for a big open-world game to play in January, this could be a really great one. There's not a heck of a lot of good games coming out in January anyway, so this will probably keep you busy for the most of the month. Platinum trophy wise, this one here requires multiple playthroughs. It's going to require 2 playthroughs because you have to have a male and a female protagonist. You can choose what you want to be when you start up the game, and to get the platinum trophy, you have to complete, without spoiling anything, you have to complete particular quest lines as a male and a female. So you'll have to play through the full game once with a male or a female, and then part of the game again with the opposite sex. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. A pretty annoying trophy, if I'm being honest. Platinum difficulty wise though, you're only looking at about a 4 out of 10 difficulty here. It's going to take you around 70 or so hours to platinum this one, so it's a little bit more time consuming, but given it's an RPG, given the nature of the game, it kind of makes sense for the platinum in this one. Greedfall is fantastic though. Don't sleep on this. Go up and pick it up. Before we go into the PS5 game, I do want to note as well, Greedfall actually came to PlayStation Now, I think 2 or 3 months ago, which is kind of interesting. I think that it's now on PlayStation Plus for free after it got dumped over on that subscription service. I don't know if that's like telling in any way of what games are going to be coming to PlayStation Plus or anything, but interesting that it came from PlayStation Now. So maybe if you've got PlayStation Now, you also have access to this. Might not be worth jumping out and getting PlayStation Plus this month if you don't already have it. Now the final game is a PS5 game. It's Maneater. Now this game is on both the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. However, for this month's PlayStation Plus, you will only get the PlayStation 5 version of Maneater for free. The PlayStation 4 version won't be free. I know it's a pain if you're a PlayStation 4 owner, but remember, if you don't own a PS5 yet, you can still go onto the app on your smartphone or your iPad, or you can go into the web store on your computer or laptop or whatever it is, and you can add it to your library through those things. So you can still add the PS5 version to your library and you will own it and you'll keep it forever as long as you have PlayStation Plus, so that when you do eventually upgrade to a PS5, you'll have this game already sitting there available for free. So make sure you do that if you don't have a PS5 yet, because I'm sure that this game will be enjoyable for you at some point, even if you don't have the PS5 to play it on now. This game is actually really good. It came out in 2020. Play as a shark, and when it came out, it's a little bit of a weird one. It's kind of one of these games which has this cool concept where like you play as a shark and you attack people and fish and all sorts of stuff, but there's not a ton more meat there. That's really all the game is attacking things and getting bigger and fighting different bosses and things like that. Cool concept for a game, probably lacking a little bit in content in terms of like what's actually there. Neat that they made a PS5 version of this. I think that's really solid as well. So it ticks a lot of boxes for me. I think it just needed more. It needed a little bit more content for me to be able to be like, yeah, this is an awesome title. Look, I think it's great. I think it was just a little bit light, I would say. Trophy wise, it's about a 3 out of 10 difficulty, so a pretty straightforward platinum. It's going to take you about 10 hours. I would call this one an easy platinum. It probably fits into that camp for me. There's not too much here that you need to worry about. It's essentially a collectathon, and for the platinum, you've got to collect basically everything and attack all the different bosses and kill a bunch of different enemies and things like that. So it's a lot of combat-based trophies, a lot of collectible-based trophies. I played this game, I believe, back in August 2020, and there should be a trophy guide up on the channel for this game, which I made back then as well. So if you're interested in going for the platinum, you need more details about it, go and check that out on the channel, and you should be able to get all the information you need to platinum Maneater. But those are the 3 games coming to PlayStation Plus for the month of January 2021. Almost said 2020. Pretty decent lineup. I would honestly say, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of these games. I did see on the PlayStation blog, and I've just pulled it up now, that Greedfall won't be available in the Middle East. It's instead going to be replaced with Assetto Corsa, and it won't be available in Japan or South Korea either, and it's going to be replaced with Mistover in those markets, which is kind of unusual. I wonder why that is the case. There's not really an explanation on the blog. I'm guessing maybe the game couldn't release in there, or there's some themes that kind of conflict with those regions, or maybe it's just not available in those regions. I'm not sure. Assetto Corsa is a pretty good game. Definitely not as good as Greedfall though, and I've never heard of Mistover, so I don't know what that is. But yeah, hopefully that helps you guys out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, give it a thumbs down, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.